USA, the year is 2006. Steve Jobs is practically the boss. Apple has sold nearly 100 million iPods. White earbuds are the ultimate status symbol. If you are on the subway, at the gym, or walking to class, you are carrying an iPod. It is the sun that the entire tech universe orbits around. But in Redmond, Washington, a group of engineers at Microsoft are tired of it. They are tired of the white plastic. They are tired of the click wheel, and they have a weapon, a secret weapon that they believe will kill the iPod dead. Their weapon has a bigger screen. It has an FM radio. And most importantly, it can beam songs through the air wirelessly from one person to another. It is social. It is the future. Welcome to Deprecated, the show where we dig up the gadgets, software, and ideas that were supposed to change the world before they crashed, burned, and were deleted from history. To understand why the Zune failed, you have to understand the arrogance of Microsoft in 2006. They weren't just a software company, they were an empire. But Apple was eating their lunch in the music business, so Microsoft built the Zune. And on paper, it was a beast. It had a 3-inch screen, huge for the time. It had a lovely, rubberized back that didn't scratch like the iPod's chrome. It had excellent sound quality, but the killer feature, the thing that was supposed to change everything, was the squirt. I am not joking. That was the internal name for their wireless sharing feature. The idea was simple. You meet a cute girl at a coffee shop. She has a Zune. You have a Zune. You like a song? You can beam it to her device instantly over Wi Fi. Microsoft marketing called this the social. They ran ads that weren't about dancing silhouettes like Apple. They were artsy, gritty, and weird. They wanted to create a Zune scene. They wanted to be the anti iPod. And honestly, for about 5 minutes, it looked like it might work. The tech press admitted the hardware was solid. The interface, which used text instead of icons, was actually beautiful. So, why is Zune now a punchline? The cracks appeared almost immediately, and they started with the color. The iPod was white or black, clean, medical. The Zune launched in a color Microsoft called brown, not bronze, not copper, brown, like a UPS truck, or, well, use your imagination. It became a meme before memes were a thing, but the real killer wasn't the paint job, it was the lawyers. Remember that squirt feature? The magical ability to share songs? It came with a catch, a big one. If I sent you a song, you could listen to it 3 times, or for 3 days, whichever came first. After that, the song expired. It just deleted itself. It felt stingy. It felt like Microsoft didn't trust you. You weren't sharing music, you were sharing a trial version. And then there was the ecosystem. To use an iPod, you used iTunes. To use a Zune, you had to use the Zune marketplace software. It was slow, it was buggy, and if you had spent the last 5 years buying songs on iTunes, guess what? None of them played on your Zune. You were asking people to leave their entire music library behind to buy a brown brick that let them listen to a song 3 times. The Zune didn't die instantly. Microsoft is rich. They can keep a zombie alive for a long time. They released the Zune 80, then the Zune HD, which was actually fantastic. But it didn't matter, because in January 2007, just 2 months after the Zune launched, Steve Jobs walked onto a stage in San Francisco. He didn't announce a new iPod, he announced the iPhone. Suddenly, nobody cared about MP3 players anymore. We didn't want a device that just played music. We wanted the internet in our pocket. The Zune was fighting a war with the iPod, but the iPod had already left the battlefield. In 2011, Microsoft quietly stopped making Zune players. In 2015, they shut down the streaming service. The Zune was officially deprecated. So, what did we learn from the brown brick? The tragedy of the Zune is that it was actually right. Microsoft was right about subscription music. The Zune Pass was basically Spotify, years before Spotify launched in the US. They were right about the interface. The Zune's design became the look for Windows Phone and Windows 10. They just had the wrong timing, the wrong color, and the wrong name for sharing songs. So if you still have a Zune in a drawer somewhere, don't throw it away. Charge it up, plug in some headphones. It might be dead tech, but it still sounds pretty good. This has been deprecated. Make sure to follow us on Spotify and YouTube so you don't miss next week's episode, where we look at the time Nintendo tried to turn our living rooms into a 3D nightmare with the Virtual Boy.